Hello, namaste. My name is Lindsay McDougall and I'm happy to teach your class today. We're going to focus on some twisting and some fire sequences that really help us get into the heart, get us wringing out the intestines and providing that vitality inside the body. So for today we're going to use a block and a strap if you need it and a blanket so that when there's a pose that isn't quite fitting right, you can pull one of those out and help yourself better access the pose. Okay, so we'll start lying on our backs with a block to the right side of the mat, and I'll lead you through towards our yoga experience. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get started. So hopefully you can hear me. So with the block over to the right, we're going to get on our backs and bring our left knee over top of our right knee. And then even if you're used to not having the block, I still want you to start with the block on either the medium height or the highest height. And once you have your left leg crossed over, just drop the knees over to the right and open up the chest, looking over towards the left arm. So just getting warmed up here in a supine twist, using the breath. Exhaling, bring the knees up and grab your block and bring it over to the left side and pick your hips up, bring them to the right leg over left, and then drop the knees over to the left, looking towards the right hand. So bringing that awareness into the low back, into this twist. Take a deep breath. Release and relax. Last breath here. And exhaling, bring the knees up. And go ahead and grab your knees, give them a hug. Pressing the low back and the spine, tailbone down to the ground. And then coming onto one side, come into a tabletop position. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the hips. Exhale, pull the abdomen in. Drop the tailbone, tuck the chin. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, pull the abdomen in. A couple more rounds like this. And add some creativity, some flow into it. Maybe looking side to side. Or rolling the rib cage in a circle around all edges of a cylinder, of which there are none, just that flow through the cylinder. And reverse. Getting the torso nice and warmed up. Finding length in the spine that's going to help us with our twists. Space in the ribs and hips. Good. And then walk the hands out a little bit and tuck the toes and come into your downward facing dog. the feet hips width apart and begin to lift the heels, lift the sits bones, and exhale, bring the heels back. Find your perfect down dog here. If it's your first one, just be kind to yourself and let yourself unfold in this down dog. Sometimes people think of kindness as being weak or vulnerable when there is actually a lot of strength in kindness. So through these poses, use that strength towards yourself, a strength of kindness. Good. Inhale, lift the right leg, sweep it forward to the right wrist, look up, low lunge. Exhale the left to meet it. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Squeeze the knees up into the hips. Drop the head, drop the neck. And then when you're ready, pull everything down into the feet as you inhale, raise the arms and the chest to a standing posture. Good. So we'll make our way into our flow. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, floating down. Inhale halfway. Exhale. Place the hands. Bring the left foot back, low lunge. Exhale the right foot back, plank pose. Drop the knees or keep in chaturanga, coming forward. Inhale to baby cobra. Squeezing the thighs, rolling the shoulders back, elbows in, lift the chest, and exhale chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, back into down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg, sweep it forward, look up. Exhale, right leg to meet it. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale down. Find your Tadasana here. Lifting the inner ankles, spreading the toes, dropping the tailbone. And taking some mindful breaths into the low abdomen as you lengthen the front body towards the ceiling. Pull the shoulders down, palms face forward. Lengthen the neck. And remind yourself of this staff pose, standing. Good. With your intention, inhale, sweep up, reach for the ceiling, reach up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands, right foot back, look up, low lunge. Left foot back, take a vinyasa here. Exhale down. Inhale, sweep the right foot up and come into warrior one. So the left heel is down. Right hip is back, left hip is forward. And we're tucking the tail towards the right heel. Bring the biceps by the ears. And then exhale, come forward, bring your hands to frame the right foot, pop the left heel up, so kind of like a low lunge, prepping for crescent. But we're going to adjust the hips so that the right hip is moving back, we're engaging the inner thigh, left heel is straight up, engaging the left inner thigh, and then lengthen the chest, pulling the tailbone down. So see if you can lengthen your posture in this low lunge. And then using that strength all in your hips and your legs, inhale, sweep the arms up by your ears. If this is uncomfortable, you can do cactus arms. Try and challenge yourself here, really wrapping the back body around towards the front ribs. Lengthening the chest, lengthening the back of the neck, and exhale, take a vinyasa here. Once you're back in down dog, take a nice long breath, pressing into the palms of the hands, especially the thumb and forefinger. As you inhale, widen the outer shoulders as you pull the inner shoulder blades down. Remember this spaciousness that you feel in the back body, in the heart. We're going to use this as we twist. Inhale, lift the left leg, warrior one on the left side. Right heel down, tuck the tail towards the left heel as you lift the arms and lengthen the chest up towards the ceiling. So find your warrior one, get comfy, little micro movements, bend that front knee. And then exhale, frame the left foot, pop the right heel up, preparatory crescent, low lunge, lift the right quad up as the left hip comes down, tuck the tail, and then lengthen the chest away from the pubic bone, shoulders back, and when you feel you have this strength coming from your legs, lift the arms into a low crescent here. Pull that outer hip in and right leg back. See if you can come into your Tadasana in the upper body in this pose. And exhale. Once you have that, keep that strength in the core as you take your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, heels back. Inhale, let's take a shorter down dog. Just bring your feet up just a tad, like half a step. And that should take off a little bit of the pressure. So we're pressing the hands in. Outer heels are back, inner ankles lifted, inner thighs are back. And then how are the arms? Are there some areas that feel like they're working too hard? Well, that means that there's another area that's not working enough. So can we roll those outer shoulders down, relax the neck, and even out that back body behind the heart as well as the low ribs towards the hips. Come to a point of stillness. And exhale, Bring the feet back to regular down dog. Inhale, look forward as you bend the knees. You can take a step or two or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale down. Good. Coming into Utkatasana, chair. Inhale, sit back on your heels. Sits bones back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bring your elbow over to the left and place the elbow on the outside of the left knee as you bring your thumbs to touch your sternum, right in the middle of your chest. Feel how this squeezes out the middle back and the waist. See if you can drop the right hip and lengthen the left chest. Inhale, coming up Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart center, chair pose. And we'll take this to the opposite side, bringing the left elbow outside of the right knee. Thumbs to the sternum, wringing out the abdomen and the waist, and dropping that left hip as you reach the right hip away, looking up towards the ceiling if that feels good. And inhale, sweep forward, Tadasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Hands at heart center. Inhale, back bend, strong legs, Tadasana. Urdhva rather. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway look up, shoulders back. Place the hands, right leg back, left leg back, plank, and take your vinyasa here. Inhale, right leg back. Sweep it forward, crescent pose. As you come into your crescent, really lengthen that left heel back so you feel that stretch in the top thigh and the left groin. And then exhale, take that length, but bring the hands inside of the right foot. So just like we did prep for our low lunge, we're going to do crocodile now with that same intensity of the core, lifting the chest away from the pelvis. So you can stay in crocodile, hands on the inside of the right foot, or elbows. If you want to go ahead and come into the arm balance with the right shoulder, upper shoulder, underneath the hamstring, coming into a balance, extending the right leg and then the left leg into a balance. Go ahead. Using the back body and the tail to pull everything towards the back left leg. And coming out of crocodile, inhale, come to warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, right elbow to right knee, Parsvakonasana, left arm comes by the ear. So intense side angle here. And exhale, take it into a vinyasa. Meeting back and down dog. Inhale, left leg back. Come into crescent pose on the left side. Right heel up. Inhale, sweep the arms. And pull that right heel back. Tucking the tailbone. And then exhale, keep that length as you drop the hands inside the left foot and lengthen the chest. So you can come into crocodile this way. If you want more challenge, walk the hands out. Left toes come out a bit. And of course, if you want to go into the arm balance, just pop that upper left arm underneath the hamstring, extending the left leg and then the right. Just getting some fire in our abdomen for our twists and for our asana. And exhaling, come out, bringing the hands back. Inhale into warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, lengthen left elbow on left knee. Right arm comes by the ear. Tuck the tail and strong core as you lengthen the crown of the head away from the heel. Try and revolve that chest towards the ceiling. And exhaling, take a vinyasa here. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Sweep it forward to 3/4 up your mat. Right heel will come into Parsvottanasana, intense side stretch. Hips are square, hands on the hips. Inhale, lift, and take a variation in your hands. So reverse namaste or opposite elbows. Once you have your hand position, squeeze the thighs, lift the chest, elbows back. Exhale, forward fold. Right hip back, left inner thigh, inner calf, revolving back. So an internal rotation of the back leg. And drop the head. Let's take 5 breaths getting into this pose. So inhale, lengthen halfway. Strong legs. Keeps the hamstring straight. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Right hip back, strong legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Last one, inhaling, lengthening. Nice. Exhale, feel that stretch through the calf, the front ankle. And then inhale, come to halfway. Bring the left hand down inside your right foot, or if you want the more traditional posture, outside the right foot, you can bring a block. Right hand on the hip. Revolve the chest for twisted triangle here. Right hand can come up when it's ready, but really focus on the right hip going back and the left abdomen lengthening and revolving the chest. As you're ready to come into Pavrikta Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon, you can take your block outside your pinky toe and just hop into a balance here, just lifting that left leg. And again, keeping that integrity through the lower leg. Good. And exhale, drop the left knee outside the right ankle. Come into a seated twist here. So as the hips come down, bring your hands to the shin, pull that right heel in, and make sure the ball of the foot is pressing down. Right hand comes behind the back at the sacrum. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, twist to the right. You can take any variation. The elbow coming to the outside of the right knee, or if you'd like to take a bind here. Exhale, unwind, lift the right hip, hands to the left. And then coming into Gomukhasana, cow face posture. So stack the right knee on top of the left. You can use your hands to press the soles of the feet as you lift your hips in a line. And then bring the left elbow up, and the right hand pulls that elbow in towards the side of the face. So that the right outer shoulder and the shoulder girdle is wrapping forward towards the chest. And then you should get that tricep and that deltoid stretch. If you need a strap, or you are able to get the arms to clasp behind the back, by all means. If this is too much for your hips, you can always pop the left leg out straight and then coming forward in your Gomukhasana. Good. Exhale, undo the hands. Right leg comes around to the back into pigeon posture. So you're keeping the left knee bent. Rock the hips to square. If you need a block under that left hip, that's quite nice. And come into pigeon pose with the hands on either side of the hips. Untuck the back toes. So pigeon prep here. So wherever you are, untuck those back toes with the hands on either side of your hips or knees, and then press that thigh up so that the entirety of the back leg is off the mat. Good. And take a look back at that back leg. Is it straight or is it off to the right? And then really press the ball of the instep back towards the back of the room. And then exhaling, walk the hands out into a full pigeon posture. You can drop the right knee or keep it raised if it feels good. And take a few nice, long, slow breaths here. Feeling the back body, the back of the chest, kidney area. Letting the head become a little heavier, the right hip heavier. Last breath. And exhale, walk the hands out. And bend that back leg so you can bring it forward, coming into tabletop, and then downward facing dog. You can take a vinyasa here if you'd like. And we'll do this on the other side. In your down dog, inhale, lift the left leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep it forward 3/4 up to the mat, Parsvottanasana. Hands on the hips, hips square, come up. Take whatever hand hold you had on the other side, on this side, and then squeeze the thighs up, lift the chest, tuck the tail, and then exhale, shoulders back as you come halfway down. So you should feel a flat back, and then exhale, drop the head, and let's come into our breaths. Inhale, squeeze the thighs, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Left outer hip back, right leg rotating, internal rotation by the hip. And taking this breath again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold, 2 more breaths. Inhale, lengthen. Really feel that left groin crease going back as you lengthen the torso out of the hips. Last one. Good. Unwind, undo the hands. Left hand on hip, right hand comes either inside or outside the left foot. You can have your block. And then revolved triangle, Pavrita Trikonasana. Right ribs coming towards the left inner thigh, squeeze the quads. If you'd like to bring that left arm up. And then what's the right shoulder doing? Is it squinching up by the ear? Is it rotated? Just make sure you're rolling the elbow back and lifting the inner armpit crease. Exhale, left hand on the hip, coming into Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon, right leg up, revolve the chest, left hand can come up when it's ready. Really reach and go for length here. Spaciousness, breath, and exhale, hand on the hip, drop that right knee behind and outside the left ankle. Sitting back, getting into our twist here. So square the hips off, bring the left heel and left leg flat outside the right knee. Left hand comes behind the sacrum. Inhale, lift the chest, pull the shin in. Exhale, twist over to the left, grabbing that knee or taking the bind with the left hand going underneath the leg to grab the right hand going underneath to grab the left hand if you have that bind. And then looking towards the left shoulder. How's the breath here? Can we lengthen and deepen the breath? Good. Release. Arms over to the right, lift the left hip. And exhale, let's come into pigeon prep. Sweep that left leg all the way around to the back. Bring your hands to either side of your knee or your hips. If you need to bring a block underneath your hip, that can be nice to really get that upper body to be upright. And then untuck the left toes, pressing the ball of the heel further than the pinky toe. Lift the kneecaps, lift the quads, lengthen the left front leg. So tailbone is down. We're on the right hip on the side with this squared off posture. If this feels good, you can walk your hands forward into a traditional pigeon. You can keep the leg up or maybe eventually bring the knee down, untuck the toes, and take some nice long breaths in this pigeon. sinking the inner groin, breathing into the back body. Relax the head and neck, back of the throat. A few more breaths here. And exhale, walk the hands in, untuck the toes, and come back to your downward facing dog. You can take a vinyasa here. Once you've kind of stretched out everything, good. Inhale, lift the right leg. Sweep it forward to the right wrist. Let's come to crescent pose. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart center, and then bring that left elbow outside of the right knee. So twisted side angle. You can stay here. Right hip in, left thigh lifts. If you want to take that arm balance, the arm balance of the Pavrita Parsvakonasana, where you bring the elbows outside the right knee and the right hip, and then just drop the hands over to the right side, creating a shelf for the thigh to rest on. And then you can extend both legs. This is an option here. When you're ready, you can bend the knees, come back, low lunge, and take a vinyasa here. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, sweep it to the left wrist. Crescent lunge. Lengthen that right leg. Exhale, hands to heart. Left hip is back as we twist the right ribs towards the left leg. Then hook that elbow outside the right knee. And you can stay here, really revolving, beginning to look up, maybe bringing the left arm by the ear if you did it on the other side. Or you can come into the arm balance, bringing the upper arms to the left side of your mat, and then just letting gravity take you over to the left as you extend the legs on the shelf of the arms. And exhale, release, come back. Inhale, crescent. And exhale, take a vinyasa. Good, let's come into pigeon again. Inhale, pigeon prep that is, so right leg back. Sweep the knee forward. Bring it to the right wrist as you sink the hips down. And we'll come into a variation of pigeon here. So if you've had the block or a blanket under your right hip, go ahead and do that. In fact, let's all do that. Even if you feel you don't need it, let's just see if we place the block on that hip and walk our hands so that it's like we're standing with pigeon legs. So the tailbone is tucking down, and then let's lift the chest. Drag that left inner thigh in. Good. So you can feel when you tuck that tailbone, the pubis simultaneously lifts and lengthens through the midline. And then exhale, right hand comes to the middle of the mat, left hand comes behind to reach the inside of the back foot. And then take the hand to the top of the foot and then rotate the elbows up so that the fingers come forward. So like a backbends, a frog pose. And once you have that hand grip, super intense left quad stretch, rotate the chest towards the front of the mat again. And press that heel to outside of the left glute. Good. If you want to take this into Ekaraja King Pigeon pose, you can hook the left inner elbow to the ball of the foot. Right hand comes on top of the head and grabs the left fingertips. And again, revolving that chest forward with the toe hold, with the foot being held by the inner elbow. So wherever you are, this is definitely a workout. You will feel this quad. And then coming out, release. Take your block out if you haven't already. And come into down dog or vinyasa. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, sweep it forward to the left wrist. Pigeon prep. Settling the hips down. Let's take that block to the other side. Just see what that feels like. So untuck the toes there. Squeeze the thigh up and come, as you tuck the tail, you're lifting the chest, coming a little bit more upright. You can untuck the back leg. And just feel when the tailbone meets to the pubis in Mula Bandha, how that creates that rise in the ribs and waist and chest. Good. And then relaxing a little, bringing the left hand to the middle of the mat. Revolve to look at your back foot. Right hand grabs the inside of the foot. Hand comes to the top of the foot, and then elbow comes in as you revolve the hands forward. And then the chest comes forward. So again, this kind of Ardha Backbends, a half frog pose. Feeling that nice intense stretch with the quads, tailbone is down, chest is lifting. If you want to take King Pigeon pose with the elbow hooking around the ball of the foot, find the hand clasp behind the head, and again pull the heel towards the glute as you revolve the chest, especially the right chest, forward. Good. And exhale. And come out gently. And make your way into a downward facing dog. You can do a vinyasa if that feels good, but we'll all meet in downward facing dog. And then inhale, drop the knees and cross the ankles so that you are sitting with the feet out in front of you. Now, pull the left knee in and rock to the outer right hip as you bring that left heel outside of the hip. So if you need to, we're going to do a forward fold in this. So if you need to bring a blanket or to your right hip or grab a strap, this is a good time to do that. So we really want to emphasize the left inner ankle rising up and the outer left thigh. And then walking the hands forward to either side of the right leg. You can grab a strap and wrap it around the ball of the foot. And then come to a forward fold here. So press the instep of the right leg. So the right leg is in staff pose. Strong, straight. And then we're lengthening from letting the abdomen support the low back as we lengthen the low back. Good, and exhale. Bend the right knee and walk the elbows to the mat with the right knee bent and the left heel by the left hip. And feel how this feels. So you're going to feel that left quad stretching. Keep the chin tucked. And see if you can pull the inner thighs up as you lengthen from the hips. Good. And then rock to the right side. Left foot comes out again. Both feet come out into a staff pose. And exhale. Lean back on the arms, bend the right knee. Drag that right heel to the outside of the right hip underneath. And then inhale, coming upright. Find your staff pose here with the left leg straight. Have your strap handy if you need it, or the left hip can be up on a blanket. And then walk the hands forward, making sure not to collapse in the upper body, but let the chest, the heart, the clavicle reach further than the shoulders. And then grabbing the strap, grabbing the foot. I really notice a difference from one side to the other, so just notice that. Find what areas are working more and less. See if you can even that out with the prana flow of the breath. Strong left leg, right inner ankle lifting. Right hip back. Good, and exhale, coming out. Bend that left knee. Rock the body back onto the forearms. Press the right inner knee down. And then tuck the tail as you lengthen the abdomen and the chest, keeping the chin in. Activate that right quad. Even out the left and right sides of the sacrum. Good. And exhale, lengthen the left leg. Come over to the left side so that the legs come out straight. And then roll onto your backs. We'll do a back bend here in bridge pose. Satubandha. Bringing the heels up by the hips. Make sure the inner knees are moving down, thighs are together, so you don't want to have the toes out, knees out, splayed out, but inner thighs in and down, heels a little wider. And then tuck the tail as you lift up to about the waist and low shoulder blades, and then roll those upper arms underneath you. And then you can take a clasp here or bring your palms underneath your heels. And then press into those heels, tuck the tail as you fire up the quads and lengthen the front body in bridge. So this should feel like a nice release for the neck and head as the weight slowly rolls up to the tops of the shoulders. Again, inner thighs down, quads are really engaged, glutes are semi-engaged. Space in the heart, the back of the waist, and exhale, rolling down. For those who want to go into Urdhva Dhanurasana, inverted bow pose, go ahead. We can do another one of the bridge pose. So wherever you are, let's take another bridge here. Rolling the hips up. Arms are clasped or underneath the heels. Press the hips up. In both postures, the sacrum is wide, inner thighs rolling down, heart center is soft. If you're in bridge pose or in upward facing or inverted bow, make sure the elbows are in and the armpits are hollowed out. And let's take this down once more. You can windshield wiper the knees. And then let's take one more back bend, okay? So if you didn't do the inverted bow, go ahead and try that. You can even do it in bridge and just rolling onto with the arms, pinned under you, just rolling onto the top of the head as prep. Or thumbs to ears, flip the hands, elbows in, roll to the top of the head, and then steady yourself, lengthening the back waist, and then poofing up the chest, lengthening and hollowing out the arms, the heart. So whichever version, do one more back bend. Maybe taking a shorter bow pose or lifting one leg in the bow pose. And then coming down. And extend the legs if you need to. And then we'll come into shoulder stand. So you can bring a blanket underneath your shoulders. What I like to do, what my Iyengar teacher taught me to do, is to bring the blanket to 3/4 up the mat, and then fold the mat, the 1/4 of the mat on top of the blanket, and then bring the shoulders on top of the mat so that the tops of the shoulders line up with the edge of the mat, and that's a nice cushion for the shoulder stand. So inhale, lift the legs, press into the hands, lifting the hips, and then with the upper arms on the mat, you can hold the hips in the palms of the hands. And this is a really great posture here, streaming energy up. If you're more advanced in this posture and you want to take it more upright, bringing the heels of the hands up higher towards the scapula, go ahead. In both postures, the legs are not straining, but they are active, toes are flared, and there's energy streaming up and down the legs. Take about 7 to 10 more breaths here. Again, inverting the flow, using this inversion to find balance, detoxification, reversion, bringing more life into the lower limbs and also feeding fresh blood supply to the brain. It's very, very good for the body. There should be no pressure on the neck, just the tops of the shoulders, pressing down, hips up, inner thighs up. And once you find that 10th breath, come into Halasana plow pose, slowly dropping the legs straight behind the head, taking a clasp with the arms and pressing the hips up over the shoulders. Although it's intense, it's good to keep the tops of the feet on the floor, as is traditional. Karnapidasana, knees to ears pose. And then fish pose, palms face down. Once the hips reach the palms, lower the legs, and then roll up onto the top of the head, pressing into those forearms, lifting the chest, lifting the side ribs. Open the mouth, stick the tongue out, cross the eyes, breathe out. One more time, inhaling. Exhale, lion's breath. Last one, inhale. Exhale, root of the tongue out, cross the eyes, exhaling. And then slowly lower down, palms face up. And coming into your Shavasana here. If you need to take a happy baby or anything to prepare for your Shavasana, but otherwise, letting the legs fall slack, the shoulder blades tucked under, and the head and neck soft. And slowing down the breath, keep this posture for another 4 to 5 minutes. Lengthening the inhales and exhales until your breath becomes more submerged into the body, back of the head, middle of the brow, relaxed. So I'm so glad to share this practice with you. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you need to, and I look forward to next time. Thank you. Namaste.